Well, I'm at the Gateway Trailhead in the McDowell Mountains in North Scottsdale. That peak with the radio towers is Thompson Peak, and that is what I'm going to be summiting today. So there's several different ways to get up there. I'm going to be going to Bell Pass, and then you drop a little bit and you cut over, I believe, on the Prospector Trail. And then I am taking the actual steep trail up to that peak. Most people walk up a road, which is boring. There is actually a trail. It's not off trail. It's noon on a Sunday. It is 96 degrees. This is probably going to be, well, I forgot to mention, then coming off of Thompson Peak, rather than taking the trail back, I am going to be ridge traversing, small ridge traverse, back down to Bell Pass. It basically cuts off a big, like 2 or 3 miles that you would have to drop and regain on the trail. So with that shortcut ridge traverse, which I don't think anyone ever does, I did that before. This might be like 10 miles. Without that, taking my trail, it might be 13. If you take the road, it might be 15. It's already 1.5 miles in. We've come up, wrapped around, branch right now 2 miles to Bell Pass, which is sort of, it's a little bit lower than that saddle that you're seeing up there. So this is pretty, this isn't really steep, maybe until a little part near the end. So this is pretty joggable if you want to jog. If not, you can see here there's actually a small drop. I got 2 miles, or now less than 2 miles, up to Bell Pass, and then I'll have to drop and then cut right and then have a steep, like over 1,000-foot climb up to Thompson Peak, and then I'm just going to go on the ridge sort of that you're seeing back to the pass to save mileage. It'll probably be about, I have to check what I estimated last time I did it, probably 3,000 feet at least of total gain. It's hard to estimate on the ridge because there's a lot of little up and down. So there's a trail split right down there. I took the steeper one up, and now the pass is right up there, Bell Pass. So it's relatively, it's a little flat now, but we only have, you know, a couple minutes now to the pass. It's warm. It's probably in the triple digits now. Probably not ideal for hiking. And we're at Bell Pass, 3,200 feet. So this is the ridge traverse that I would come down from on the way back. Whew. We've started our descent. This is actually a different day. I had sort of a camera malfunction when I did it a week or two ago. So I'm doing the same hike again and just patching the footage together. But we're gonna head down around the base of that mound and cut right. So you can see we have, I don't know, 300-400 feet to drop. And then we got to climb like over 1,000 up to Thompson Peak. So we just made a right on the Prospector Trail. There's Thompson Peak with the radio towers, but this is going to continue to drop. So it doesn't look like we're that much lower, but we're going to drop down to there. All right, so this is a key point. You're basically down super low. Prospector continues this way to the Thompson Peak Road. You're gonna hit this cairn, and this is gonna signal the trail that will take us to the top. Headed up, we'll gain that little ridge. You can almost see a trail. See on that little, well, I don't know if I'm pointing the right place, the lower ridge in front of us. And then it goes up in front of that rock face that you see, where it's sort of bald, and you see the white rock. This is gonna be a nice push for sure. And then we get here and we bang a right. See the trail, see the road up there? We're gonna bend to the right and go straight for the summit. So on the way up to Thompson Peak. So we've climbed up a little bit. You can see how much closer the peak is. But we're on this ridge I showed you from down below. And we're making our way up, and you can see that rock up there, that white cliff rock. We walk on a ramp right in front of it. You can actually see the trail. So we're going up, bending left. So far, we've probably come up, I don't know, 400 or 500 feet from the low point, but we still have another, I don't know, probably 700 if I had to estimate, but I'm not looking at the map. So far, it's been steep, but not too bad. But I know it does get steeper up higher. I remember there were some steep little sections that going down were somewhat difficult to move down without slipping. So headed up, and then there's your road over there that loops around much more circuitously. We're working our way up this ridge, about to hit a little flat part. Very steep, like over 1,500 feet a mile if I had to guess, or maybe about that. Flattening out now. So we'll go up, and then again you can see the trail, very steep. So here's the point. Well, we'll continue on the ridge on the way down, but we only got, I don't know, 150 feet maybe a little less up to the summit here. Very steep this last third of a mile to half a mile. We made it to the fence. Let's walk over here. That was tough. Good work. Whew. Definitely not for everyone. But if you take your time, anyone can do it. So not the best views up here, tower, parking lot. So we came up from way down at the low point there, and then there's our trail back. We just need to get down to it, and the way we could theoretically go down this drainage. I don't know how difficult that would get. So I was gonna go up and over this black mound to hit Bell Pass. And then for reference, for those of you who might use my times to estimate your pace, that was about 1 hour and 36 minutes up. So maybe an hour and a half if I pushed it a little better, but not too bad. Should be down at the car in less than 3 hours. So looking out to the valley here, good views of all the mountains, Piestewa, Camelback, Weaver's Needle, and the Superstitions. So anyway, I'm gonna head down. I will show you Lovell. I will show you some of the ridge traverse. I need a picture for the thumbnail too. All right, so we just came down, whatever that is, 150 feet to this little shoulder. This is gonna be the start of our ridge traverse. So someone made a comment, all pissed off, you can't go off trail in the McDowells, it's illegal, you know, real snarky. One, I wasn't sure, to be honest. I thought you could, because hundreds of people do it every day at Tom's Thumb. They climb over the boulders. That is absolutely off trail. That doesn't make it right though if hundreds of people do it. So I looked on the website, there was nothing on the McDowell Sonoran Preserve website. I emailed them twice. They did not get back to me over the course of over a week. So I came here. At the trailhead it says it recommends that you stay on trail. So I asked one of the rangers or stewards here, I was like, hey, I know it says, you know, please stay on the main chain trails, but am I breaking any rules if I go off trail? Am I allowed to? Is that illegal? And they said, no, you can. Just they recommend you don't unless, you know, you're comfortable doing that because of the vegetation and the loose rock. They said, obviously, leave no trace. But there is nothing illegal about going off trail in the McDowells. There's some ups and downs. It's a little steep. You got to be careful. But ultimately we're just shortcutting back to Bell Pass. So I'll show you some segments of it. It's not that interesting, but as you can see, you're on a bunch of rock. Some of it will be loose. You gotta be careful later on with cactus and stuff, but you know, just grass and dirt. Nothing too crazy here. So this is gonna be about, I think, half mile as the crow flies. So we gotta go over that black rock and dip down to Bell Pass. So you'll see we have a decent drop, but then we gotta climb. So there's definitely some navigation involved. Like here, it's like, where do you go down? So I'll check in a little bit later. So we're descending, as you can see. Probably pants would be a better idea here. I haven't really gotten scratched, but I have all sorts of stuff all over my socks. Some of these rocks definitely move, so we're dropping. Well, you can't even see, it's pretty steep coming down. You know, it's not trivial. You definitely have to watch your step. And then you get these like grasses too, where it's hard to see what's going on. So, you know, big 2-3 foot steps down the rock. Some of the rock is loose, it's slick. So, you know, just be careful if you're doing this. The overgrowth doesn't really help either. Alright, so we finished our initial descent here. Come down 300-400 feet. And for those of you who say this is off trail, look at this. There's actually sort of a trail right here. So I don't know if this is a human trail or more than likely a use like animal trail, but there is clearly a defined path, you know, through this part. So anyway, just working our way flatter here. We'll have some mini ups and downs. We got big saguaro. We have to figure out the best way to go around this. So it's like, do you contour around the left? Do you contour around the right? Do you stay right on the ridge? And the answer is, I'm not really sure. I've got all sorts of little pricker things in me. Well, after that first descent, we still had more as I wrapped around the left. Still quite a bit. I don't know if I said ascent there, I meant descent. Still have quite a bit of descending. And this is a challenging one. Just a lot of plants and overgrowth. I'm trying to get down to that saddle there. All right, I've come all the way down here. That was tough, especially with the vegetation. I think it might be better to contour around to the right, but I'm not totally sure here. So we're gonna go, I think probably just go through this little notch is what I'm gonna do. So this is just sort of choose your own adventure. Man, these prickers are brutal. They're like these fine little hairs that like irritate you, and a bunch of this. It's not cactus, but it does not feel good. I'm gonna have them all over me, in my shorts, in my skin. So I am attempting to, we just went through that notch. I think, yeah, see there's all this, there's all these prickers down here that I'm stepping on. We're gonna attempt to contour right here, and then I know we have to climb up this black thing and then descend the other side of it to Bell Pass. Gotta climb up, you know, not much, a couple hundred feet, and then descend a couple hundred feet on the other side. It's just through this brushy, cactus-filled, dangerous terrain. So, I'll check in up on the Black Rock. So we're working our way up the Black Rock. I've branched a little bit right. just because I know I need to end up going that way anyway. A lot of choya to contend with at first, with their balls all over the place, and then a bunch of bigger ones. They're right in your way. So I'm gonna work my way up this rock, and I've actually made pretty decent progress up. I'm like at least halfway up, I would say. This is nice, stable, steppy rock. It's just the vegetation that you have to be cognizant of. So like here is perfect. You can just step on big rocks. See, so there's that point. I know that's where I need to go. And we have our first view of Bell Pass. So, as I knew, you want to get more on this at the end of this black rock and sort of go down its ridge. So if you go here, you're falling off to the side, and you could theoretically do that, I suppose, and just meet the Bell Pass Trail lower, but we want to get right on the spine, and that's going to be our easiest route down to Bell Pass. So I'm just sort of ridge traversing on the top of this big black rock area until I get over, until I get over to that rib. Uh-oh. Haven't stumbled at all until right now. Pretty much summited. This might be the summit of the black rock here. Pretty cool. Looking back to Thompson Peak. So, just one more descent now. So here's the descent. It looks very tame, and to some extent it is, at least tamer than what I went down before, but it's all these overgrown things, so you got to be careful where you step. I mean, cactus all over the place. You can't even see some of them. You know, rock is loose. This could be loose right here. Ow. That plant is prickly. I mean, it's not as easy as it looks to descend a couple hundred feet. So this is going swimmingly. I'm just sort of following what looks like a faint use trail, trying to switch back, avoid running into big cactus, sharp plants like this one. And then we're just gonna have 3.5 miles of relatively easy joggable downhill, and I still have liquid left. I brought like 1.75 liters, including a Powerade Zero. All right, you want to check? Let's check out what's in the box. Just like equipment for trail maintenance, picks, shovels, some water. All right, no more filming. We just have to get back to the Gateway Trailhead from Bell Pass. So that was Thompson Peak, which you can't see now, and the Thompson Peak to Bell Pass off-trail ridge traverse. Definitely a good one if you like off-trail stuff.